Hey everyone, Joe Fox here, President at Growave. Today we've got another episode of Retain, Grow, Thrive. I'm very excited to welcome one of my good friends, Nihar. He is an incredible individual with a very, very cool background. He heads up and is the managing partner over at Roswell at the moment. And they're just coming off the back of a Webby Award for Diane von Furstenberg. A couple of big announcements to you joining the gorgeous advisory board. But yeah, I'm super excited to have Nihar here today. He's a good friend of mine, someone I really respect in the industry, and I love what they're doing over at Roswell. So Nihar, thanks for coming on, my friend.
Absolutely, Joe. I heard about this. We talked about it in Austin when I saw you last, and I was super excited about this. And back at you, man. By the way, congratulations on you being stepped up president over at Growave. That's a huge opportunity, and I can't think of a different person that can do a better job than you. So Growave's
awesome.
Nice.
Thank you so much, my friend. Really, really appreciate that. So in saying that, let's dive into this Webby Awards Diane von Furstenberg thing. That's a massive, massive achievement. I know you guys are a very big partner of Shopify, do incredible Shopify work and e-com work in general, but like this is obviously particularly aimed at that. So can you give me a little bit of a insight into the award, what it means and what success is coming from after that reward?
100%. I appreciate that, Joe. Appreciate the recognition there. I mean, the Webby Awards are the the most coveted award in the digital sphere. They are like the Oscars of the internet, as they're kind of dubbed. We're having a good month right now, and we announced, as you mentioned, I was asked to be on the Gorgeous Marketing Advisory Board, the Webby, and we also were graduated to the Shopify Premier Tier. That's the top 6.8% of agencies across the world. So it's a good month at Roswell. I appreciate that. And the Webby Award really is the cherry on top. I mean, it's something that we've been talking about at Roswell for over a decade. We were founded back in 2011. And we were talking about, we would watch and track all the Webby Awards over time, and never did I think that there would be an opportunity like this, and that it would come so soon. But we worked really hard for it. The team was working on the DVF project just after the holiday break. They really wanted to revamp the site for 2025. We performed a full UI UX audit. We had our creative director and design team go in and actually design the site from a wireframe standpoint, but also understanding the brand essence. The most important thing is that when you're doing UI UX design, everybody has a homepage, everybody has a product list, product detail, cart, checkout. It's all pretty standard. There's best practices, and a lot of times you have to color within the lines in order to make sense. I've seen crazy sites out there that have incredible weird experiences, but is it going to convert? And so the fine line is bringing that creativity and best practice together to be able to create an experience that allows a seamless journey for the user from the entire path of purchase journey, but still maintains that brand ethos. And that's, I think, what we were able to accomplish with DVF. And it looks like the judges agreed with us. I mean, out of thousands of submissions, we were one of the 5 chosen for nominees, and we ended up winning the People's Voice Award shortly thereafter. The award shows May 12th. We're super excited about that. Myself and Maya Yukman, our senior director of marketing, along with Claudia Gonçalves, the VP of e-commerce, is going to be joining us as well too. And we get a 5-word speech on stage. Super exciting. And we're in the history.
Amazing. Yeah, that's so awesome. And I think, I really love that as a leader, how you've really called out everyone, on the team and given them their flowers for that. I think it's amazing. And I think, to me, it's kind of a no-brainer on the outside looking at it because it's such an amazing, incredible website. But to your point, I really love that methodology of Roswell, where it's like, yes, we can be creative, and yes, we can do all of these amazing design components. But if it isn't a good customer experience and it doesn't convert, then what's the point? And I agree, there are some interesting websites out there that have really, really, really hard, I wouldn't say hard, but difficult sort of customer journeys built into them. But then when you see something like the DVF website, you can see why you won. So congratulations
I
again to
appreciate
you and
that.
the team at Roswell.
And fun fact, what I don't think people realize this is that we had a metaphorical gun to our head because this had to be live by the middle of February. No ifs,
Oof.
ands, or buts. And we started designing it just before the holiday break, like mid-December. We were in development over the holidays, development in January. This was, Claudia is a dear friend, but also a very close colleague of mine, and that was her deadline. And I let her know, like, hey, we're gonna figure it out. We're gonna do it. And so we pulled out all the big guns at Roswell, worked over the holiday through the January period, and we got it live when it needed to be.
Absolutely love that. Yeah. Once again, like just a very solid testament to the ethos of you and the team of making it work regardless. So absolutely love that. And it's award winning as well. So it's not like it was a rushed product. So
No.
that's incredible. That's incredible. Yeah, so Nihar, we've dove straight into Roswell. We've dove straight into, kind of some of the current projects or recent projects that you've been working on. But I'd love for the audience, there's a wide range of audience here. We've got obviously those in our ecosystem that we call friends and partners. And then there's obviously going to be a lot of merchants tuning into this. So I'd love it if you could just sort of touch on, you mentioned how long Roswell has been around. Can you touch a little bit on Roswell's kind of journey, but also your journey and your background? I mean, you and I have chatted at length about this in New York over lunches and all of those sorts of things. And I think that's one of the reasons why we're such close friends is both of us have had interesting backgrounds. But can you chat to yours a little bit for the audience?
Yeah, well, I appreciate that, Joe. I have had a very unique journey here at Roswell, and prior to that as well, too. Most people don't know. If you check my LinkedIn, you probably do. But I worked in the music business for the first 13 years of my career, from 2001 to 2014. Record labels all over New York. I thought that really was my dream and the direction I wanted to take my life in. But towards the end of my journey in music, I was trying to get a job in tech. And I was looking back at all the different failures of the music business, in my humble opinion. In 2001, they tried to sue Napster instead of trying to monetize it. Try to sue teenagers in the middle of nowhere America instead of trying to monetize Napster. Not a smart way to alienate your core audience. And then from there, in 2002, Steve Jobs comes to New York. This is the urban legend, but I kind of believe it, and tells all the record labels, I got this thing called the iPod. I just want you guys to create a digital music store. And they said, what are you talking about, Steve? We're going to sell CDs. And Steve Jobs goes back to the Bay and basically creates iTunes. The music business basically has to pay 30 cents on the dollar for every track that's sold for the next 10 to 15 years. Streaming was around in 2009, 2010, and where it became super ubiquitous. And again, they fell asleep at the wheel. Instead of creating their own streaming platform, now Spotify has the overwhelming majority of the market share in the U.S. and probably I don't know about the rest of the world, but if it's anything like the U.S., then it's a massive market share. And seeing that they were just dropping the ball and digital disruption was happening everywhere you go, I realized I needed to make a move. I tried to get a job at Spotify. I applied to 30 positions at least. Couldn't get an interview to save my life. And then I reached out to a recruiter there that was a bridesmaid at my best friend's wedding. He was his wife's bridesmaid was a recruiter at Spotify, and I asked her, and I said, "Hey, man, hey Jenny, rather, how come I'm not even getting an interview, much less a phone call back?" And she said to me, "Nihar, you have a great resume if you want to work in music, but this isn't a music company; it's a tech company." And my head exploded, and I basically, she saw the panic in my eyes, and she said, "Hey, well, Hugh, he's got this. Hugh's my best friend since I was 8 years old, elementary school, middle school, high school, University of Michigan together, next door neighbors, that kind of vibe."
Love that.
And he's like, Hugh's got this development shop called Roswell Studios. Maybe you can go see if he needs some help, and then after about 3 to 6 months, you can come back and reapply, and you'll have tech on your resume. And I was like, that's a genius idea. I called Hugh. He said, absolutely, come over. We need some help in biz dev. and he needed help with business development, marketing, operations, scaling, all of that. And obviously that's what I knew how to do, but not necessarily in tech. Came aboard, and oddly enough, obviously it was called Roswell Studios. I came aboard in 2014 as the first, hire, if you will. I taught myself the code. I'm not a developer by any means. What would take me a week would probably take a developer a half hour. But I just wanted to know the languages. I wanted to immerse myself and become a sponge of the industry. 2015, Shopify goes public. We had one Shopify brand in our portfolio. We were small. We were 6, 7, 8 people. We had one Shopify brand that we were doing some work for. And I saw what was happening over at Shopify. And I said to you, I was like, we could be one out of a trillion dev shops, or we could be an elite e-commerce agency that does killer development. And that was the start of our journey. Became a Shopify Plus partner in 2016, one of the first originals. A Klaviyo partner in 2016 when they were 25 people. Nuts. We were regional
Crazy.
when they were 15 people. And so we, luck favors the prepared. I think we knew the direction we want to go in, and we really built Roswell on the bedrock and foundation of partnerships. Growave being a very strong partner of ours and instrumental in a lot of the brands that we work with. And that kind of understanding that you're not able to do this on your own is really what helped Roswell grow. We worked well with our partners, including Shopify, and basically started bringing deals to the table. One thing that people don't get in this industry is that just because you become a partner of a tech platform, doesn't mean they're going to turn on this spigot where you're just going to be getting a conveyor belt of leads into your agency. It's a trust battery that has to be charged both ways. You got to bring opportunities to the table, then they'll bring opportunities to the table to you.
Absolutely.
If they bring an opportunity to the table to you and it doesn't work out, you still got to crush it. Just because they throw you a bone, that they don't know if it tastes good or not. But at the end of the day, what you do with that opportunity is what the platform is going to realize, the integrity that you have as an agency and how you operate in both good and bad situations. Because that's real life. And understanding that has really been instrumental in our growth at Roswell. Back then, we were just about 8, 9 people, just doing development, kind of focusing more so on e-commerce. Back then, it was probably 20% of our business. Now it's nearly 95, if not more, percent of our business. Expanded into design as anyone would, doing UI UX design, and now we're a full service agency doing creative, engineering, and growth marketing services. Creative is focused on UI UX design, branding, logos, as well as content creation. We're doing photography, videography, as well as 3D art and AI art. On the engineering side, core competency, everything you would expect. Systems integrations, custom Shopify theme development, subscriptions integrations, tech platform integrations, basically fitting square pegs into round holes. My business partner, Hugh Lim, he is like Neo from the Matrix. He just sees things. I swear to God. I mean, he's the most talented and gifted solutions engineer I've ever met in my life. What our motto of the engineering division is something we're very proud of. The only limitation is your imagination. If you can think it, we're going to build it, and we stand by that. We don't ask brands, why would you want to do that? We say, why not? And get to work. And then finally, the growth marketing side, full funnel lifecycle marketing, everything from performance marketing, SEO, affiliate social media, influence marketing, to retention, which is a key reason why we partner with Growave. Everything from email, SMS, loyalty, reviews, wish list, customer experience, everything that allows a customer to maximize their experience on site and how to bring them back, because everybody understands that returning users convert at double the overall conversion rate, and you don't have to pay for it. I mean, yeah, you have to pay incremental for the platform, but you're not paying, you're not giving Google and Mark Zuckerberg, $5 for a click anymore. You're giving them back with your own ability to retarget. So anyways, that's a summation on Roswell. We're now a team of 50 people and growing. We have 70 brands and growing, and we look at our brands like our children. Like, you can't have a favorite one, and you want them all to succeed.
I love that. That's a very good call out. And, once again, just congratulations on that success. Like, it's seeing the,
it's a roller coaster ride.
Yeah, absolutely. but you're writing it very well, my friend. It's really cool to see, and I think, I love nothing more than working with good partners such as yourself. I love these relationships and friendships we develop, but as part of that, it's like it's seeing your friends win that really makes you super happy, right? Like absolutely nothing to do with Growave, absolutely nothing to do with our friendship, besides the fact that I get to see my friend win. And I really love that and I enjoy that. And
Love that you
yeah,
said that, man, because that's something that is very unique to our community. And I'm part of chat groups and meetups in New York, which is all agency owners and whatnot. And when we get together, we're not talking about what our bank accounts are and in terms of our business checking accounts and whatnot. It's about what and who's bigger. It's about what are you learning? What are you hearing? Talking about how are tariffs impacting your brands? How is your pipeline? What are you doing that's successful? What should I avoid? What tech platforms are the ones that should be on the horizon? We're all sharing information. We're frenemies. We were competitors, but we're friends.
yeah,
And I've been on deals with some of my dearest agency friends at Barrel, at MaxBurst, at Midnight Genius, and Avex as well too. Shout out to John, Peter,
yeah.
and Jason, and we've been on deals together, and we know we are, and we're like, hey, good luck, man. It's not, and if they go with you, you know what, they made a great choice, and
Yeah.
I love that, because at the end of the day, it's about camaraderie, not competition and skullduggery, if you will.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think we're so lucky to be in an ecosystem that has that, because I think there's two things I think about partnerships that you can always kind of like guarantee in our space. One is that we probably travel a lot more than most other industries. I mean, we were chatting about that off air, and I want to touch on that a little bit as well. But also too, you can count on your competitors essentially rooting for you. And I
Yes.
think that's amazing. Like that is such an underrated, kind of thing. I mean, for example, like my wife being an attorney, it is not like that between attorney firms. I can tell you that right now. And, I have a lot of friends who are, property developers, here and in Australia, and it is not like that there. So I think we're very, blessed for a lot of reasons, but certainly blessed in the fact that, we all get to work together and everyone wants each other to win. And there certainly is enough work for everyone in the space. That's the
Of
truth.
course. And
There's enough merchants.
yeah,
Yeah,
rising tides lift all boats, and I think that's something special within our industry, and I hope that never changes.
absolutely. Absolutely. So we've touched on your journey, Roswell's journey. We've touched on, some things that are happening in the landscape, particularly then. I'd love to, maybe pick on sort of one of those particular topics around what we're finding in the market now, right? Because I think there's just a ton of uncertainty, particularly, in the US and sort of, I guess,
Yeah.
in the world in general and e-com at the moment, just with like some of the things you mentioned, tariffs, economy, all of that sort of stuff. I've had some good conversations about this on the podcast. And I'd really love to dive into that with you, Nihar. It's like, what are a couple of things that you think merchants should really be doing at this particular time? I'm going to caveat that with my, point that I keep driving home is, if you've considered working with a partner agency at the moment to guide you and navigate you through this, but you haven't done that yet, you need to. If you're a merchant who's in that position, now more than ever, you need the right team and the right external team of experts who know every facet of this to be working for you and on your side. So I'm going to caveat it with that. But what are a couple of things, Nihar, you think that, merchants can be doing today to alleviate some of the pressure and stress they're feeling?
Absolutely. So I've been talking a lot about this, and I think you hit the nail on the head. Working with an agency, you're getting the the amalgamated experience of them working with multiple brands and multiple verticals, seeing everything from all sides of the field. And that's really the advantage of working with an agency rather than trying to do it yourself. We work in a wide variety of industry verticals, everything from your standard beauty, hair care, wellness, jewelry, fashion, luxury goods, apparel, and accessories, to also CPG, home goods, and medical devices and medical supplies. And what we're seeing right now with the state of the economy and e-commerce as a whole, and I surveyed a good portion of our 70 brands to be able to get some information, because I wanted to know what was happening on the ground level. And this is information that spans December, January, February, and March. So take it where you take it for what it's worth in terms of the timing. By the time this gets released, everything may have changed, because and that's the thing that I want to stress, is that day to day uncertainty is not working for brands. It's not working for anybody. It's not working for the economy. It's not working for customers. It's not working for brands. It's not working for anybody. Not knowing and not being able to plan is what's disrupting everything. If there was if this was like, this is a stake in the ground, this is the way forward, this is the new normal, brands can plan for that. They can figure out what they need to do. But changing the rules on a day-to-day basis is, the tariffs are here, they're gone tomorrow. The tariffs are here, but not for you, for China only, and so on and so forth. It's just like, hey, just give us a break. Tell us what you're going to do and make it happen, and then we'll be able to plan and move forward. It's trickling down slowly and surely. I mean, they're saying that in certain places, shelves are going to be relatively unstocked in the next month or so, and the impacts of these tariffs from April 2nd are going to be felt, 60, 90, 120 days later. And there's other ripple effect. We have brands that pre-bought inventory in the December, January, and February periods in anticipation of this, which causes a massive amount of supply. And if the consumer confidence level, as tracked by University of Michigan, continues to go down, you have an issue where demand is going to be decreasing, supply is going to be large with the brands that do have it, and not to continue with this verbal diarrhea of talk so much, and I want to be able to condense as much as I can in the little time that we have. You have certain brands that are increasing their prices due to the fact that the tariffs are hitting them because they don't have inventory. And then you have brands that, why not increase the prices too? I have the inventory, I can increase my margins, and all that compounds, and who gets hurt? The customer. And then the brands are having a difficult time planning for the future. Advertising gets hit, and agencies like us can get hit. If you're planning your advertising budget based on your gross profit margins and desired net income and ROAS targets, and all of a sudden you don't have the inventory to sell, or your prices have to go higher, the unit economics kicks in at that point, and ultimately you have to pull back your advertising budget. But why? Yep. All these things start contracting contracting all together like a black hole, and you know what happens when it contracts too much? You have an explosion. And that's really what I think is happening right now. I think the current administration in the United States, if they were just to give us guidance and basically say, this is how it's going to be for the next 2 to 3 years.
Absolutely. Yeah.
All right. I don't like it, but I am not in a position to be able to change it. So if that's it, at least tell me that. Now I can guide our team. I can guide our brands. People can make decisions. We don't have to worry about, okay, should I hire now, or is Q3 going to be a dangerous situation? I don't know. And not being able to know is what's really hurting everybody right now. The uncertainty, you can see what's happening in the stock market. Uncertainty is not what they want. And the stock market is a predictor of the future, because it's essentially an understanding of the temperature of where we think we're going to go, not where we've been. And those signs aren't well. And that's something I'm very concerned about. And it's what all of our brands are concerned about as well.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I think it's, you're so right. It's you can plan through anything and be prepared for anything if you have some clarity. And I think the really annoying or confusing part of all of this with the current administration is that they could provide that clarity, but it feels like it's being used as a political tool. And it's a little bit frustrating. I try not to dive into politics too much on this, especially being an Australian, but it's just interesting, kind of where this is going and where it could be going. So I really hope, on an optimistic note, I hope the administration could provide that clarity sort of sooner rather than later,
Absolutely.
for everyone.
And that's not being political, Joe. It's just being real. I mean, at the end of the
Yes.
day, it's
Yeah.
like, if you've made a decision, that's fine. I have to live with it, for the next 3.5 years, maybe even longer. Who knows with whoever gets elected next. But at the end of the day, you just I want to be able to plan, the obviously there's a saying that everybody has a plan until they get punched in the face. But if you get punched in the face over and over and over again, it's like, come on, like give me a break here. You know what I mean?
Yeah. We need the round to end so that we can move on to the next round, catch our breath, and move forward. No, absolutely. And I mean, that once again, is a testament to your strength as a leader and your care for your customers in the fact that you want to, be able to guide them through everything that's going on. So I'm in agreement with you. I think, hopefully we can get some of that clarity soon.
Yeah.
So I guess I know that you and I can chat forever. We always often do when we catch up in person. I think, just to kind of round things out nicely, 2 quick questions. So one is, where can everyone reach you? What is the best way to stay up to date with the awards, the advisory boards and stuff that you're, all of those sorts of things? Where can people do that, Nihar?
Appreciate that. Yeah, absolutely. You can find me on LinkedIn, Nihar Kulkarni. My name is down in the lower left of the screen. Find me on LinkedIn. Add us. Follow me there. Roswell NYC is our LinkedIn company page. Please check us out there. But on our website, you can find us and fill out the contact form or email us at buildmybusiness@roswellstudios.com. Again, that's buildmybusiness, all one word, at roswellstudios.com, because our motto is that we're in the business of building businesses, and that's what we do really well.
Awesome. Love that. And I'll make sure that those links and everything are in the show notes for sure. And I guess one last question, because I like to do this with everyone that comes on. I think I know the answer to this already. And you can't say a person or people. We were talking about it earlier. We both travel. So, all of us travel a lot in this. You've got travel coming up. I know you've just been to like 7 or 8 different places in a very short span of time. But what is the one thing that you can't travel without, or that you need with you? Like, what's one thing that you rely on a lot? I think I know the answer to this one, but I'd love you to share it with the audience if that's okay.
Oh man, I mean, God, of course it's my laptop, but I mean, that's the mentality that I have being an ambitious individual. But I actually have this thing that I travel with it, and I highly recommend it. It's called the McKenzie lumbar back support roll. You can get it for like $20 on Amazon. The reason
Nice.
the reason you have that is that when you're traveling, you're oftentimes hunching your back, and people don't realize your back is like this, right? And if it's crunched like that, the gel between the different vertebrae starts squeezing out, and that's why a lot of people have lower back pain. So you get that, you put your butt all the way to the back of the seat, and it goes right into your lumbar, and it forces you to have that S curve when you're sitting on a plane for 6 hours, you're sitting in a hotel room, and whatever you're doing, and you would be surprised the amount of relief that it gives you from just keeping your back straight all the time. And because I travel so much, I carry it everywhere with me. It's not a shameless plug by any means. It's $20 on Amazon. It's been around for years, but you should definitely look for it. It's a McKenzie roller lumbar support thing, and it hooks right on any seat. You can put it right down there, and it'll change. It's changed my life.
Amazing. I love that. And I think that's, you and I have spoken about this before, but that whole wellness on the road kind of component, that is like a very quick, easy hack for the audience. Really love that. And it's relevant for at home too. So that's awesome. Nihar, thank you so much, man. I'm really excited to do a second part of this, but I just want to say again, thank you for being a great friend. Thank you for being a great partner. Congratulations again on all of this success. And then hopefully when we catch up in person, it won't be too far away, but also hopefully we're able to talk about this relief and sort of, I guess, clear path and clarity that's happening in the market at the moment. But once again, audience, please, I implore you to connect with Nihar, consume the Roswell content, consume Nihar's content. reach out if you're interested in having a chat. Very, very friendly team over there. And as you can hear, absolute award winners who get the job done and build businesses very well. So Nihar, thank you so much for coming on, mate. Really appreciate it. And we'll connect very shortly. And for the audience, thank you so much for tuning in to another episode of Retain, Grow, Thrive. You can check out all of the show notes below, and we'll see you again soon. Thank you.
Appreciate you, Joe.